Hello and welcome back to episode 42, Granny, if I can count correctly. I've run out of tentacles, so I
Well,
don't know what
Granny
we're up
couldn't
to.
be here, so Leanne came instead.
Well, I don't know, Leanne. Well, I suppose I'm going to start up this episode with it. I've had enough of humans, so I'm going to flood the earth. That's pretty much what I'm at the moment. So,
Oh, dear. Well, I'm
I've
glad I
seen
took my
some.
rollers out then before you flooded the earth.
That's right. That's exactly right. But I don't know. I'm literally annoyed with the YouTube community at the moment.
Yes, do tell. Do tell.
Oh, it's just, I suppose, at the back of the reaction video that we did a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, you mean you did the reaction video and I did a
Yeah,
reaction to your
yeah.
reaction?
Well, that's right. So I suppose by virtue, by extension, you did the reaction video as well. Is that I don't know? I suppose I'm just seeing more and more negative behaviour. So I put my little Mister hat on to to give you all a chastise and teach humans how to human properly. Like don't. This is a generalized comment. It's not directed at anyone. Before you put your pitchforks and torches up, it's a side remark. But if you're walking into an op shop, don't berate the staff. I don't care who you are. Don't care who you think you are or who you want to be. And don't make TikTok videos of it. Don't make YouTube Shorts videos of it. It's going to backfire. And we're talking about it before we went live. And this is the last bit I want to talk about this subject. I'm not going to raise it again, Peachy. Don't worry. Calm your farm. Is that what it comes down to is that what's the opportunity cost? Like when we do a video, right? So for complete transparency, the video that I did on the Aussie Flipper a couple of weeks ago, it's probably done about $40 in ad revenue around that big. Nothing phenomenal, right? So Matt's around about 10,000 views at the moment. So he might be around, just say, $200, maybe around that point. But the opportunity cost he has, he's burnt that op shop. That.
Yeah,
for the sake,
and
that
possibly others.
I'll be surprised. And that's exactly right. So I can, I can
I
tell you right
see
now.
it for him that other people that have watched it, that maybe in that area that work in or volunteer, pardon me, in op shops, if they see him walk in the door, they're going to be on the back foot for a start. Like they're automatically going to be in that defensive mode because they're going to be worried what he's going to say.
Well, that's right. And like I said, it's not so much pointed at him, but I suppose we'll use the example of him, right? So basically, the $200, that he's potentially made an ad revenue at this point of time, compared to the opportunity cost. And like you're saying, he's burnt that bridge. There's a good chance that if he walks into that op shop again, they're going to know who he is by virtue of his video going viral across here, the States and Frankston as well. But but realistically, he's going to be asked to leave. And and I just finished up doing a reaction video on the Geelong Flipper, and I've got nothing against Tory. I got his name right, didn't I? The amount of times I've tripped up that poor guy's name. And he's gone viral on TikTok for doing the similar thing. But he tried to do a donation at Salvation Army. They rejected him. He did a video. I think he's about to 40,000 views at the moment on TikTok, which is dwarfing my lost the keys down the drain video.
Oh no!
But then he did a follow-up video, and like I said, this is nothing against Tory. I quite enjoyed his video and all these different things. But then he did a follow-up video where he said that the Salvation Army asked him to leave. They did they photographed him in his car and all these different things. So realistically, not only are you burning bridges for yourself, you're burning bridges across the board. That it's going to get to the point where I'm going to have to write a letter of apology to the CEO of all these organisations, like
for how everybody else has behaved, not how we've behaved.
Right.
Yeah,
well, that's right. And like I said in the reaction video that I did for Matt, right? Like I have had altercations with managers at Vinnie's, but it was, with the exception of me calling him a dickhead under my breath, but the thing is, it was a civil conversation, right? Like I was just, I didn't want anything. I was just trying to it was more of a professional curiosity, right? Just to see, hey, what's driving these, these factors of increasing the prices? Is it rent, or is it all these different, external factors? I wasn't, laying on the ground, flapping my tentacles around because, they had Skylanders that I wanted in the bag for, for $7 or something. Like I said, just need to be very, very, very mindful. And this is the last point I'm going to make on the topic. I'm not going to harp on about it. I'm just going to get it out of my system because it is really, really irritated me. Because not only are you giving yourself a bad name, you're giving resellers across the board a bad name. You're whinging about high prices now. Wait till you see the fallout of this. They're probably going to have signs up, no recording in stores, no resellers, all these different things. So, realistically, they're a private business, right? But they can come up to you and say, hey, Leanne, do you mind leaving? And you've got no recourse. They can kick you out of the store. And this potentially could be, what's on the horizon because of people acting like spoiled children, and not saying probably one over the other.
Yeah.
But
and I guess that's,
really
that's probably what worries me more than anything else, is that especially the places that I don't go to often, that I only go to every, 2 to 3 months, that don't see me very often. And most of them, no one's ever been worried about me filming in there or doing anything, but that may all come to a big whopping stop if, based on this.
So I'll give you a bit of context from my organisation, right? So when someone screws up or makes a complete fool of themselves, so basically what happens, long story short, we don't crucify that person, right? We don't make an example of them. We don't, hang them out to dry. It's basically a directive across everywhere. So once one person screws up, everyone gets in trouble for it. And this is what's going to happen. Like realistically, you're going to start finding that these CEOs and directors of these companies are going to start pushing down and say, hey, look, no filming in stores. If you see anyone with a camera, you'd ask them to leave. And you got no recourse. And it's going to take a couple more TikTok videos or a couple more YouTube videos where you're carrying on like a pork chop. Then it's just really, and I suppose the biggest thing for me is that a lot of people coming up to me, and I've seen it in Leanne's Discord, I've seen it in my comment sections, I've seen it in other people's comment sections, and in Facebook groups. We've got it right. I told them to call it Facebook Marketplace. Look at me go. Is that people are finding it they're struggling at the moment, right? They're finding it really hard. We've said numerous times that reselling is not glamorous. It's not easy to do. It's not, get rich quick scheme. It didn't last long. I wasn't very good at articulating. But thank you to that person last week that pointed out that I need to articulate my words a lot better. So I think I explained it in the comments, but maybe if you didn't understand. But like with Leanne, she's got that little that pink thing on her mouth that where she can breathe air through, like she has it like an air vent. This doesn't have an air vent. It makes it very hard to get oxygen in. So I do appreciate in advance if I do have hypoxia.
Yes, every week he struggles more and more towards the end of the video because he's just breathing in carbon monoxide or whatever it is that you're breathing.
That's right. You could probably tune for the last 10 minutes and it just goes.
Affects your brain cells, apparently.
Well, that's right. Well, I don't have a brain in the first place, but like I was saying, is that I really don't see the point of complicating things like complicating matters worse and further. Geez, that's good English. We haven't even got to the 50-minute mark before I fall over. But what it really comes down to is that you're not only creating disdain for yourself or discourse for yourself, you're pushing it across the community, and people are lapping it up. They think it's hilarious. They love it, and they give comments of support, or furthermore, as they actually say, "Hey, look, Leanne, probably not the best way of handling it. I think you did something wrong." Acknowledge it. Read what your customers are saying. And, if you are creating YouTube content, your customers are the people watching you, right? Like, I really don't care from an eBay perspective. Is that you really be mindful of who is actually, like, for example, if people reach out to me or in the comment section and they'll say something, I'll test and adjust, right? Like, but just to, if you've got 5,000 comments saying you've done something wrong and you got your head in the sand or you're pig-headed, you won't acknowledge it. There's something wrong there. There is a disconnect there. And I would urge anyone that, this is going to probably be a bit controversial, is that stop consuming content from content creators that are creating animosity, drama, all these different things. Like realistically, there's no problem with, and I had a chat with Sarah from Flip Fox Finds yesterday, is that there's nothing wrong with building a community and talking and conversing with people or watching it from entertainment perspective. But when you're doing things for a quick buck at the opportunity cost, or at the expense of your community that you're supposed to be supporting and love and respect and all these different things, and you're burning them down the bridge. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I guess one of the things, the big thing takeaway I've seen from it is there's been very, very few people that have agreed with, and use the Aussie Flipper again, with that example from Matt, the Aussie Flipper. So many people have said, no, you should have handled it differently, but he's stuck to his stance. And I find that unfortunate, because if the bulk of people that you are, that are seeing your content and are coming back to you and saying, no, this is not how you should have handled it, take on board what they're saying. Listen to them, because they are your audience. And I think that'll have long-term effects myself on his channel.
So
Yeah.
I suppose what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to put the nail in the coffin for once and for all on this topic. I'm going to write a letter to the managing director of Salvation Army in Queensland. I'm going to apologise on behalf of the Aussie Flipper and the reselling community, just to basically try and smooth the waters over there. I don't particularly care if you think one way or another. The way that he acted and how he performed was completely irrelevant, completely inappropriate. Yes, he might have been emotional. Yes, there's a couple of contributing factors going on. Don't care. Don't, by all means, like I said in the video, reflect on it for a week before you open your mouth, kind of thing. So what I'll do is that's right. I'll write a letter to them. I'll put it on our YouTube community page so everyone can have a read of it. I'll post it to Salvation Army in Queensland, and I'll ask them if they want an opportunity to come on here or come on another YouTube platform to, I suppose, converse with us and give us a bit of an indication of what are the driving factors of going up. Because I know Tori said the same thing in his TikTok comments, is that, whilst, I won't put words in his mouth, but along the lines of basically, Matt's point was that he's had enough of the Salvation of the charity shops and all these different things pushing the prices up, artificially increasing the prices on for opportunity shops, right? That I want to get to the bottom of it. And like I said in the reaction video, is that I want to know why. Like, the fact of the matter is everyone's jumping up and down, carrying a lot of pork chops. They're not doing anything about it. Like, they could be. I'm not saying anything, but from my perspective is that I want to know what the answer is. And I'd rather get from...
and there will be reasons, whether that's policy from up above, up the chain thing, because the structure of op shops has changed so much. Because, years ago, even all the Vinnies and all the Salvos used to be independent. I mean, they were part of that chain, yes, that's but... Right. All the Vinnie stores, if that Vinnie store was in St Arnaud, for example, which is my closest one, the revenue and everything, it was run purely by volunteers. St Vincent de Paul, which is the organisation that Vinnie's is named after, they would have had the overriding structure and the overriding administration of it, but everything was held within store. Profits were kept within the store for the local community. It was all run locally, but now they're all part of this chain with management going up levels. So it's changed.
Well, and that's exactly right. And what I want to do is I want to actually go out to, not the managing director. I don't think the CEO is going to come and talk to us or talk to anyone in that sphere, but I would like to talk to someone.
You never know.
What's right? I would like to talk to someone in the organisation that has the authority to talk on behalf of the organisation. I don't want someone, and this is going to sound horrible, but I don't want the store manager that, was aggrieved by a couple of YouTubers or TikTokers coming into the store. I want someone in the organisation that can say, hey, look, Mr. Octopus, this is the way that we're going, or this is the economic platform, or this is the different challenges we're finding in the macro environment, in the micro environment, all these, like to talk business about it, right? We are a business, we're running businesses. We're not running hobbies. We're not running, like tea parties or anything like that, regardless of what you read in the Facebook groups, because, geez, they send me insane. But the fact of the matter is,
I'm not looking in them at the moment because I know what's going to happen. I'm staying well clear. Yeah.
So you're running a business, you need to think like a business. If you don't know how to think like a business, read some business books. Like, you don't need to invest. Go to the op shop and buy some bloody business books. Like, I've picked up some in the last couple of days just to read before I roll out the little exercise that I'm doing in the coming weeks. But realistically, you need to start thinking about all these different levels. Like, it just tends to be insane. Like, the lack of ownership, I suppose, for lack of a term. Everyone's whinging and carrying on. And yes, I know there's external factors, and people's businesses are failing, and eBay's not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And don't get me started on eBay. But what it comes down to is that I want to tackle one thing at a time. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go after the Salvation Army first. Well, that's probably not the best way of trying to invite them on. I'll go after you.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of putting it, Octo. Yes,
that's right. That's exactly right. Like, I'm aggrieved. I'm living up to my name today.
Yeah, you are. You're a bit disgruntled. Look, I have to say, my example is going to be, years ago, I used to work in the local pharmacy here. Now, in the pharmacy in a small country town, everyone comes in at some stage or another, whether it's to buy a cough mixture, a Panadol, because back in those days, you couldn't buy that sort of stuff in the supermarket either. You had to go to the chemist to get that, or whether it's to get their prescriptions. Now, there are people in this town I don't like, that I don't get on with, that wouldn't give me the time of day if I walked past them on the supermarket. However, when they came into the chemist, I had to behave nicely. I had to you know, treat them as well as I treated my best friend when they came in, you know, and that's what you've got to do when you go into an op shop. You've got to behave as if that is your professional thing. You are in a position of a business person, and you're going into another business, and you need to treat them with respect and be done with it. You know, no hysterics, no questioning. If that's what their business structure is, I think the idea of going and asking them why it is the way it is a great idea outside of walking into the shop. You can't do that in the shop. It's different things.
Because you just twigged me onto something that I meant to raise a couple of weeks ago, and I've completely forgot about it. But so what I hear, right, is that a lot of people that talk about op shops and charity stores and thrift stores, whatever you want to bloody call them, is that they go, oh well, I'm the customer. You're not a customer. You should be functioning as a B2B, which is business to business. So basically, one business is selling to another business, and and to do those kind of transactions, you need to build rapport with that company. So realistically. And this is what I'm saying earlier, is that it's going to get to the point where resellers, if they're identified, are going to be asked to leave. They're going to make it more, probably music's blaring as it is. Even for a 40-year-old, I'm going deaf. I'm getting tinnitus every time I walk out of a thrift store. But what it comes down to is that build relationships, build all these different things, and start sourcing from alternative perspectives. And I was having a chat when I said earlier I had a chat to Sarah, is that she was under the impression I was doing wholesale. I'm not doing wholesale. I'm doing B2B, bringing in replenishables, new stock, like basically moving away from the secondhand model, because I'm covering both bases, right? So one store's focusing on brand new products and one store's covering secondhand products. If eBay turns around and says, hey, look, we're getting rid of all secondhand stores, I'm covered from that perspective, right? Like I'm hedging my bets across the field. Like, don't limit your supplier to one store. With Leanne, for example, like having one or two thrift stores in the vicinity, that's quite dangerous, or very risky from a business perspective. Or on the flip side is chucking a tantrum.
Exactly. And I mean, that's one of the reasons, because I've started doing some online sourcing, and I'm doing I have bought some stuff at auction. I'm looking at more stuff at auction. Because we can't just rely on the old channels. Because what if the old channels dry up for whatever reason, because someone else has chucked a tanty and made it hard for me to go and buy stuff, or for some reason that just I can't afford to source there. I can't suddenly decide once that's stopped, oh, hang on, where am I going to get stuff from?
That's right. And
you need to have it organised.
Well, that's right. And I suppose this episode will just turn into a business 101 of me just barking orders at you, because like, people are just infuriating me. But the fact of the matter is that whilst I might draw attention to Matt, right, like he's just fresh in my mind just because of the altercation that he had. But for every person that's like Matt, there could be 10 more that don't film it and put it on YouTube. So you need to look at it from that perspective, is that this is not an isolated event, right? Like, there was an Instagram account probably a couple of months ago now where they were tagging Vinnies and Salvos in stores, going, this pair of RM Williams boots, why are you charging $600 for it? Because they want to. Like,
it's their choice.
That's exactly right. But if Leanne was the op shop manager and I knew her quite well, and we used to talk, and I'd bribe her, for a lack of a better term, every time she comes to the shop, she's like, well, I could, for you, Octo, I could do those shoes for $200. And then like, this is what I'm talking about, the business to business thing. Like, knowing what you need to do and knowing what your system is. Like, because I was talking about business plans the other day, is that I can guarantee you a lot of people that sell on eBay, myself included, don't have a business plan. Like, what's your goals, and how you're going to move away from the platform, is that you got the platform risk. Like just selling on eBay. Like, I know Leanne's moved to Depop.
I feel like I've got a bit of fluff in my eye.
You're not like Blake and you're falling asleep on me.
Tear in my eye.
But you need to write a business plan. You need to have 6 months, 12-month, 18-month goals, and go all these different things. And one the reason why I suppose I respect Tech and Sports so much is that he built off that eBay. He's not stuck in that eBay mentality. Is that I don't agree with 100% what he says, but however, he's proven himself that he can build subsequent businesses from that foundation of eBay, and that's what you need to do. And this is what the purpose of that little experiment that I'll be doing in the next couple of weeks is to say, hey, look, it's not going to be easy. I don't think it's going to be easy. It's going to be learning a whole new system and a platform and all these different things. But this is what you need to look at from a perspective yourself. Like, maybe put 5% of your eBay sales away just to, put into different investments or different adventures and all these different things. Because, like we've talked about before, what happens if, the 1st of April, like last year, where basically everyone's, kicking along with great sales, then sales dried up. And I'm finding that at the moment myself.
I'm beginning to I'll tell you what, it might be the end of April, but by hell, it feels awfully like the start of April last year at the moment. Maybe there's some other factors at play, but it feels like the tap is going on and off.
That's right.
On eBay. So you're getting really, really good days, really, really good. Like I had my best day for, probably 90 days or something last week. And then the next day was my second best. And then all of a sudden down to one sale. Like,
yeah.
And
I want to move away from conspiracy theories, right? Because, like I said, I like having quantifiable data or data that I can actually prove and all these different things. But to me, it almost feels like, there was some conspiracy theories last year that people were put on different servers. So basically, they'd have their sales for a week, then they'd be turned off and all these different things. But what I'm finding is that, to do a week's worth of sales in 1 or 2 days, then have absolutely nothing for the rest of the days, it's just, your business can't run like that.
No. How does that work? Because I notice it. What I'm noticing, okay, it's one thing to not get the sales, but it's the traffic. And the reason I'm picking that up is through how many offers can I send out? Because people don't even have to be watching your item to receive an offer. All I have to do is have gone and looked at your stuff, and you can actually send them an offer. So what I'm noticing is, like those days where I was having really good sales, I was sending 20, 30 offers a day. Today I would have maybe sent 3.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And what we're talking about before is that, because this Japan challenge that I'm doing is that I'm trying to move all the stuff quite quickly. So I've increased the promoted listing rates. So I'm looking at probably 10 to 15% depending on the category, right? I have worked that into my pricing. So like I said, the stuff that I normally sell has obscene profit margins, right? I'm not saying that everyone's across that, as just by virtue of how I can source things and how I can get them. So I have worked in it, and as a rule of thumb, I normally work off 25 to 30% take out of that transaction. So if I'm in an op shop or a thrift store, or if I'm looking in to buy something on Facebook Marketplace, I take 30% off that perceived value of that item. So if I can sell it for $100, I'm probably looking at about $70 before we're looking at fees and postage and all these different things. So I potentially could be walking away with $60 depending on the size of the item, right? So realistically, I want to be paying like maybe $10 to $15 for that item. It goes from there. So all those different things. But what it really comes down to is that I'm finding that's working at the moment, but how long will that work for? Because we were talking about this last year, is that when we're doing the factory resets and the nuclear resets and all these different things, they're working great for a certain period of time. Then everyone, eBay catched on and just died in the butt. So,
but interestingly enough, one of our the Discord members, who is originally from the UK and so still has a lot of contact and gets information through about eBay UK as well. But eBay in the UK is actually spoken to one of their top sort of YouTube sellers, be equivalent to say, Brad and Jazz, or, that eBay might contact and, to put some information out there sort of thing, to actually encourage the people in the UK that are selling on eBay to do end and sell similar. Because once your item's been up for 90 days, it's dead in the water.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing that Mel came back with. I'm pretty sure it was from the Retail Fest last year. Is that she mentioned it. She's saying that that she did mention a period of 8 to 9 months, which I think is a bit excessive.
Yeah.
So the current model that I'm doing, and by all means, you don't take it to the bank, because I've only been doing it for a couple of weeks and it seems to be working so far. Is I'm doing the dynamic promoted listings up to 10 to 15% depending on the category. So the Skylanders is 15%. Like clothing's 15% and all these different things, and like video games and all that around 10%, right? So that's automatically up to 20 to 25% that I'm paying in fees for that item. But what I'll do is I don't actually promote that item once I launch it. So if I launch that, it won't go into a promoted listing until the 30-day mark. So it gives it 30 days to actually see how it performs by itself. And yeah, like there's a Skylander I bought a couple of weeks ago. I meant to do a short on it, but I forgot about it. That's what happens when you're an octopus. So basically, this Skylander, one Skylander goes for $500, right? And I've sold it before for $500, and I was just lucky enough to find another one that I could, locally, locally, 6 hours away.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm not promoting that at 15%, because imagine the fees on $500 at 25%. So realistically, we're probably bringing it down to what, $375. Then got to pay postage and insurance on top of all those different things. So that product, because of its rarity and its scarcity and wantability, for lack of a better term, it will sell by itself.
I think you just made up a new word.
No, that's right. Well, that's right. We'll put it in the comment section. Make sure you use it on Instagram. #wantability.
Wantability.
That's right. But the thing is, though, people want that product. That I've had people reaching out to me in the last couple of days. Can you, will you send it US? I ship it everywhere. So I don't know why all of a sudden I had people coming out. So, but the fact of the matter is, I will never promote that thing, because I know I can sell it by virtue of some of your antique books that like you said, that the one-offs, you'll never see them again. Don't promote those things. Like if they're scarce and if people want them and all those different things, and the collector will come along, just refresh it every 90 days or something, if that's what eBay's suggesting. So like I was saying, you need to keep evolving. Keep evolving your store, keep evolving how you run your business. Like, even now, just, I don't know, just go on to ChatGPT, down below, let me know if you have or not, but go into ChatGPT and say, all right, I run an eBay business of 500 items that I'm wanting to make an annual profit of $20,000, whatever you want to make. Can you write me a 2-page business plan? And ChatGPT will punch one out for you. Like in the video that I did, and I made a community post the other day, I don't recommend following it to the T. However, if you've never done a business plan before, or you have no idea what a business plan is, it's probably a good idea just to, to follow it to the T.
It's a great jumping off point. Because,
right.
And I'm going to say, I have mentioned previously, I've just started reselling on Etsy. But one of the interesting things that I'm discovering is by doing that, and I'm only doing books over there at the moment, but one of the interesting things I'm finding is the other types of things that are selling on Etsy that aren't used, that people are producing themselves, whether it be a printable item.
Print on demand.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's what we're going. That's what we're doing.
So it's quite crazy to see that. And just by me, so if I had no knowledge of that, and I went over there and started selling books on there and took the time to actually look around the platform and realize, oh, they're selling those. Oh, they're doing that. Some of the stuff's quite, because I was actually looking for a particular artist that I favour in my books. His name's Arthur Rackham, just in case you're wondering. So I was actually looking to see if I could get some prints of his, and I can get plenty of them over there, but they're not original, say, book plates, which is what I was looking for. They print on demand. Like, that's right. Holy moly, I could be doing that myself.
Right. Well, that's right. And if you haven't already worked it out, and I think I've made mention to it before, is we're actually doing, as part of the experiment, we're doing a print on demand, right? And I'm not going to do it from a zero cost method, because I think that's just completely insane. Let's create a $0 business. I'll probably try and do it as cheap as I can, $100, $200 or something along lines of that. So the first thing is that we'll be going to Etsy and doing print on demand stuff. Like, realistically, it'll be all octopus themed. So basically I'm resetting my TikTok to make it I suppose more focused on my branding, opposed to just like throwing my keys down the drain and hoping to go viral from that perspective. But and I think that's Leon and I will talk about this, and what Tori's done with his channel and with TikTok, because he's got quite a substantial amount of YouTube subscribers for how young he is in the game, for lack of a better term. But
so do you think they're coming across because of his TikTok?
Oh, of course, of course. Like, because I think he's doing a phenomenal job on TikTok. Like, if you like the guy, you don't like the guy. People don't like me, surprisingly. But realistically, everyone's got flavors, right? Tori's doing a fantastic job from TikTok, right? So maybe you need to look at expanding your social media presence, because I know a lot of these people that sell on eBay, there's no reason why you can't do TikTok. Like, do faceless videos. Like, what I do with Skylanders. Just have your hands there, just picking up Skylanders and say, this is what it is. Yeah, it might be the same with jeans. Like Leanne knows all about jeans, right? Just do TikTok videos, goes, hey, Levi's 511, this kind of jeans, this is the material, this is what you need to look out for. If you're looking at buying jeans, make sure you get in the crotch and, there's no holes in the bottom there, and, check at the back. Yeah, this is what people are looking for, right? So realistically, TikTok's a lower demographic that you're looking about 20, probably 18 or even younger to 30, right? So they're quite cash poor, for lack of a better term, right? So, they'll probably be looking at thrift stores to do things, but they mightn't necessarily know what to look for. So if you're an expert in jeans, start angling yourself from jeans. Then what you can do is you can start bringing out, grumpy granny themed lint rollers and sell them to your audience that way. So there's another channel that you can do from. So like I was saying, it's just you can't have Granny's lint rollers. Make your own.
I've already got Grumpy Granny's lint rollers are in the other room. Ready to go. I started working out how and where I'm going to sell them yet. So yeah,
well, I just told you. There you go. I just told you.
There
TikTok.
you go.
But realistically, I suppose the biggest thing that I fell into, the trap that I fell into previously as well, is that being influenced by people, like, romanticizing, Leanne's selling jeans. I really like Leanne, so I'm going to start selling jeans because she makes it look so easy. Is that research before you go to the op shop and start doing armfuls of stuff, like coffee mugs and pans and because jeans at the moment. Because I went to the jeans section the other day because if I can find my pair of jeans, I'm happy to pay $9 for a pair of Levi jeans that will fit me. Then go to the Levi store and pay $150 for them.
Yes.
Yeah, but the amount of people in the jeans sections now, because I watched this YouTuber and he's talking about jeans, or I watched this, they're talking about blouses and all these different things. So these people, there's nothing wrong with bringing more people into the market, because realistically, you're getting the sustainability aspect out there. You're getting people thinking, like, I suppose above more. And I do hear the argument pretty often that, I'm sorry, this is a rant episode, but I do hear pretty often.
Yeah.
I don't think I can. I've got to pronunciate my words a lot clearer, I think. But what it comes down to is that what I like seeing more than, obviously selling stuff on eBay, is people using their initiative to better themselves, right? So realistically, if people are like, because what makes me infuriated is when they say, oh, yeah, Leanne, when you show people how to do jeans, you're bringing more people into the market. So realistically, only 5% of those people probably will succeed to a certain point in time, right? Like, they might come in and buy some jeans. Oh, this is too hard, then give it away or redonate it or sell them to Matt the Aussie Flipper and stuff like this. But what it comes down to is that those ones that are saying, hey, well, look, realistically, I need the extra $20 a month or extra $20 a week or something like this. And, Leanne showing me how to look for a certain pair of jeans, what style to look for, what flaws to look for, if they're hemmed or they're not hemmed and all these different things. You're helping that person. So realistically, there's no shortage of cash, right? Like, I suppose that, this scarce mentality, which I did fall into, but realistically, if you know what to sell and you know what to be the best in that market, you can dictate the market.
You can. Why not? And we should stop striving to try and go down to the bottom of the market. We should create our own market. And I kind of feel like that's what I've done, because one of the things I mentioned in my What Sold video is that I have a very low cost of goods because of where I source, which is fantastic. But I also have a very low spread of range of items. So I think I've found one, maybe two pair at the most of True Religion jeans in my entire career of reselling. I don't very often find those high-end brands. But the good basic bread and butter brands I find all the time. And I can sell them, and I can sell them for a good $10 profit, $10 plus. Perfect. If I can sell those, as many of those as I can a week, every time I do, that's $10 going into my pocket.
Yeah, and I suppose, like, or I don't want to generalize here, but just basically, if you're a low I'll start again. If you're on a low income,
socioeconomic.
Yeah, that's right. So low session. Oh, I can't even say that. The oxygen's cutting off, Leanne. I'm solar powered. It's getting nighttime around here. If you can't see,
it has gotten dark actually. Where you are?
It just feels like it's gotten dark in the last 20 seconds. But what it comes down to, if you're on a low income, and I have seen YouTubers previously say, "Hey, look, the $20 profit for 20 items a day makes you."
Perhaps.
Yeah, well, that's right. But the $20 profit model. Realistically, if you are on a low income and you say, hey, well, look, $5 profits fine for me. After all the expenses are taken out and all these different things, make sure you account for tax, because a lot of people don't talk about tax, or a lot of people don't know about tax until the end of the financial
It's
year.
too late. Yeah.
But realistically, $5.
Oh, he's gone. We've lost him. Oh dear. What can the matter be? Poor old Octo got stuck in the lavatory. He was there from Sunday till Saturday. Nobody knew he was there.
That's right. I got lost. So, long story short, when I was flapping my tentacle around, I pushed my mouse and went back a screen. So I had to wait to come back in. But thank you for your scaring off whatever left of the audience we had.
Yeah,
after
good
me,
on you.
traumatizing them for the last 25 minutes.
Yeah,
but realistically, whatever profit margins, I suppose, suitable to your time expenditure, right? Because if you can survive with $5 profits now, build yourself up to $10 profits when you can afford it.
The thing being, too, Octo, it's what can you source? Because no good saying I'm going to make a $20 profit on every sale I make if you can't source items that you can make a $20 profit on. And that's where I'm coming in. And that's why my business model is to make a $10 profit, because a lot of the stuff that I can source that is plentiful, regardless of whether I'm getting it locally or, through auctions or whatever, will give me a $10 profit. And that's why I've chosen that model. So, yeah.
Well, that's right. Or even know what you're sourcing. Like realistically, the amount of times that I've walked into an op shop or a thrift store and probably walked past, a $500 item just because it looked inconspicuous or I didn't know about it and all these different things. So realistically, Leanne, I suppose, is probably in the best situation for that, what it is, because you're quite concentrated with the thrift store, right? So you got one in the area. So realistically, all right, I know clothes. Next time I'm going to learn about pottery, or I'm going to learn about plates, or I'm going to learn about cutlery. All this thing. But the thing is, though, you can, because you've only got that one store you're going to, you can start building your awareness of all the other different things. Like even if you're not time poor, you can walk in there and just walk in there from 9 o'clock and sit there on the floor and just scan every bloody thing in the shop and work out what sells.
Honestly, this time I'm going to say, this time last year I was probably still at that point. Like I would go in there into the local one, and even the ones in the next town. Like it'd be nothing for me to go into the local one and be in there for 2 or 3 hours, because I would go around the whole store, and I learnt stuff like doing, vintage tea towels, doilies, jigsaw puzzles. Back then you could perhaps do, but I wouldn't buy them unless they were new, because if you're not going to build them to show them, there's no point buying them.
That's right. I still haven't done mine. but
you can go around the whole store and every handbags, belts, hats, underwear, bras probably.
Unless you're Christian.
All the breakable stuff. I've still got drawers of breakable stuff that I need to post on Facebook Marketplace because I no longer wish to ship.
Well, and I suppose that from my perspective, right, is that the biggest injustice that I'm doing myself is that I don't know what fashion is. Like, I have no idea what fashion is, right? Like,
wonder why that is.
But the fact of the matter is that it wouldn't take me much more than half a day just to get on Google and say what fashion trends are in now. That to say Y2K, I have no idea what Y2K is, right? All right, Google what is Y2K, then get pictures. And when I look at jeans, it's like, okay, that's Y2K. Well, that's Y2K. This is Y2K. Whatever's in fashion at the moment, like start sourcing all those different things and start doing that extra little bit of research. Is that and what I'm going to start my Facebook Marketplace. I'm a Facebook group rant now. Is that?
Oh no!
Oh no! Strap yourselves in. Instead of asking questions on Facebook groups, on Facebook, all these different things, go straight to eBay, get the answer straight from them, get the answer what you need. Then the amount of time that you would have spent, bitching and carrying on and responding to people on Facebook groups, research. Like, all right, I'm going to look at cutlery today, or I'm going to look at pottery or whatever. That's exactly right. Like, we'll go into bloody Facebook groups and Facebook Marketplace. That's what I'm trying to work out this time. Well, I'm alternating between the two, but go into Facebook Marketplace like I do. Like I never, I'll let you in a secret. I've never played a Skylander game, right? Like before. Now I'm probably one of the best people in Australia that knows back to front with Skylanders, right? So what it comes down to is I actually stumbled across with COVID I stumbled across a Skylander lot about 2 streets away from where it was. So I just did a quick eBay and was like, oh crap, these things go for decent money. And from there, like, I've literally know the bloody things back to front without even touching the game. So I know who the target audience is. I know what kind of collectors there are, what the people are looking for, all these different things, just by virtue of going on Facebook Marketplace and doing 5 minutes of research before we went and pick the bloody things up. So,
well, I mean, there's quite a few areas of men's clothing that I'm pretty au fait in. It's not because I wear the stuff.
No,
I've researched it.
Yeah. Well, that's what it comes down to, is that, like, I suppose if anyone's out there and wants to improve their business, and by all means, I don't know everything, so please don't, take this for gospel. But, what I would like you to see you do is go to ChatGPT, write a business plan, a 2-page business plan to give you some guidance of what your business should be doing. Go subscribe to Ethan Rushock, because I just seen a little notification pop up in my video. He's showing you how to do an ABN. That man and his channel is a wealth of knowledge. I'm lucky to. Ethan did reach out to me regarding the experiment with creating a business from scratch. He's going to come on and have a bit of a chat to me, because what I'm going to do is I'll probably have an introductory episode. Then what I'll do is I'll have Ethan on from there, and it'll be just questions from the community and questions from my perspective where I don't know what's going on.
Right.
Then just basically a free-for-all. Like, I'm just going to treat it that I have no idea what I'm doing, and Ethan, tell me what the answers are. So like I said, from that perspective, is that you need to start using your resources appropriately. Stop wasting time watching TikTok. Stop wasting time, on Facebook groups, bitching about, someone deleting their post after you, did all these different things.
And look, if you also want to know what how can you improve the stuff that you're selling already listing on eBay, and why other people are getting sales and you're not, there's a thing called the Listing Quality Report. And that will give you all the whys and wherefores, and it shows you where you're at and where the top 10% of people are and the bottom 10% of people are. Takes a bit of working out, but I've made a video about it if you want to watch that. There are other people that I'm no doubt that have made a video, or come into the Discord. We've got discussion groups about it in there. Those sorts of things. If, for example, with a book, for example, there are sellers out there, and plenty of them, that put one photo in their listing. One photo is not enough. Other sellers have got 9 photos. They're the ones that are going to be at the top. Your one photo is not going to get there.
No, that's right. So, I listed a couple of things today. So the Nintendo that I picked up ages ago, I listed that today. I took 21 photos of it. I'm charging a premium for it, right? $299. Like, I think the average is about $240, $250 from what they go at. But I dare say that will sell at $300, because I've got video of it working. I've got, which no one else has a video of it working. I've got photos of every angle and all these different things. I've got the background. A lot of people know of me that buy from me. And that sounds very egotistic, but realistically, you're building yourself a consumer base,
you
right?
are egotistic, but,
That's right. But I suppose just be all that, and I suppose I'll go against the grain of YouTube's, right? Like, I would rather you not watch me. Don't watch Granny by all means, but don't watch me. That's right. Don't watch this. Watch my content. Use that time instead to research how you're going to improve your business.
I will say, talking of watching me, I do have a little bit of a laugh every now and again with some of the members in my Discord, and I'm not disparaging any of you at all, but it does make me have a bit of a giggle that they're members of GG's, reseller room. And they'll ask a question. I'll say, oh, yeah, I made a video about that ages ago. I haven't watched your videos.
Yeah. But like I said, Leanne's, I enjoy watching her content, right? I watch a lot of YouTube
teach you the
content.
ABCs.
That's right. We put Leanne's in the Complete Dummies Guide how-to videos, right? If you really have a really question you don't really want to ask, or you don't know how to do, go to Leanne's channel, work out what you want to do from that. But from my reaction video podcast point of view, is that I would rather you not watch it or not ingest it. Instead, use that time to, if you're time poor and you go, hey, look, I need to watch The Octopus for an hour and a half a week, I've got some time allocated for that. I would rather you allocate that time to building your business, right? Like, just research something. I don't care what you research. Watch Ethan's, how to create an ABN. Well, I haven't got an ABN yet. Research from there. Watch Ethan's video, research from there, and build yourself and I don't want to go like this 1% better thing every day, because I think it's bullshit personally. But the fact of the matter is that work out what you're lacking in, what your weaknesses are in your business. Like, if you're not very good at accounting, or you're not very good at photos or something along those lines. That watch some YouTube content. Look at your competitors. Like Leanne was saying with the quality listing report, the top 10% has 15 photos. All right. What do the 15 photo listings look at? Look at those ones and look at all the photos they're taking and start mimicking it. Like keep taking photos until you can replicate what it is. So it's not really that hard. But all right, Leanne, I've had enough.
Right.
What's your rant before we wrap it up?
Look, as I said, I think I'm feeling a little bit, thinking with the way eBay's working at the moment, but I think that's where what I want to say to people is don't just stay stagnant. You have to pivot and change. And yes, yesterday I was in a really, bad ranting mood myself over the fact that, I'd gone from great sales down to absolutely one tiny little itsy bitsy sale. And it's very frustrating, but you have to pivot and change and extend yourself and work out, well, what can I do to change it? Don't just sit there. Don't just say, okay, well, I've been promoting at 2.1% because I'm not going any higher than that because so-and-so on YouTube said don't go any higher than that. Don't think like that. Like think, okay, I probably can't afford to go to 15%, but I reckon if I could actually go to 7%. Think about what you can do to change, whether it's photos, promoted listings, whatever, to try and change things up and get things moving.
Yeah, without trying to sound like a self-help book, don't focus on what you can't do. Focus on what you can do. Like as much as I hate saying that, it sounds like I'm one of those bloody idiot bloody people that open their mouths and say shit. That,
and as much as you say, don't watch videos and stuff, but if you don't want to do that sort of thing, but you want to get help and get information, come into one of the Discord groups. I mean, mine's not the only one. It's the best one, of course, but it's not the only one. But there's so many people in there. It's true. There's so many people in there that are, experts. They mightn't see themselves as experts, but they're good at what they do.
That's right.
And they're willing to help you. All you have to do is ask the question.
Well, I suppose I'll put a caveat on that, right? Like, use your mentors. Like, the only thing that really irritates me the most is that, if someone gives you something or they're happy to part with some knowledge and all these different things, don't treat it like an entitlement. Like, and going back to our beloved reaction video is that, like, I don't say, don't expect you to say please and thank you every time, but say, look, I really appreciate you, Leanne, for coming on and, last minute notice because I forgot about this podcast and you just tied your hair up and off on your came. But realistically,
that's a whole other story.
But what it comes down to is, like I said, just be very, because it all comes like I suppose from our perspective is it's business to business, right?
It's time, and it's time.
It's right. That's exactly right. Like that. With Skylanders, and I've said numerous times, more than happy for people to send me photos or ask me questions, all these different things. But I'm
in my Discord. That's where you ask.
That's right. That's right. But I'm not wasting time, but I'm taking time out of my schedule to answer your question. At least acknowledge that in some capacity. Not financially. Not don't think servitude or anything along to that, but just say, hey, look, I really appreciate that, and return the favor. Like I said, that if you know something, pass it on to someone else. Like, hey, look, I know jeans and button fly jeans are better than zip fly jeans or something like that. So, anyway, I've had enough.
Yeah, me too. Another you with your ranting.
Right. That's exactly right. Well, I've still got to cut the video for Tori and upload it for 3 days in the past.
Wow. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, but thank you very much.
Bye.
All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
And don't do any stupid things so I don't want to rant again.